This
all the
conference
activities
will
we do,
now be recorded.
right? So these things we have discussed in the last session, coming to the implementation project. So today we'll be discussing about a support project overview and the support project as a SD consultant. What is your role and what are the levels of tickets, escalations, and these are all things we'll be discussing. So as per the discussion, our client is Galaxy Pharmaceuticals. Let me just a moment. Yeah. So the client is Galaxy Pharmaceuticals, and the implementation partner is IBM, right? So Galaxy Pharma is the client, and the implementation partner is IBM. So now the implementation has been done. That means IBM has handed over all the project to the Galaxy Pharma, and now it's up to the Galaxy Pharma as per the agreement, like whether they want to continue IBM as a support partner or they want to give it to the new support partner, right? So in the process, let's discuss how the support project works and what is SLA. And as a functional consultant, what information you should be knowing from the SLA. So these things let us discuss today. So you can see here the Galaxy Pharma. It's the same process of a business like a Galaxy Pharma, and you can see different support partners like IBM, Accenture, Capgemini. So again, every company has sales team. So they pitch in a sales calls with the customer and get the project. So as per our discussion, let us say that the project has been given to the IBM, and IBM is our now support partner, and Galaxy Pharma is the client. So if it's an implementation project, whenever a company gets a project, what we do, if it's implementation project, we start ASAP methodology, right? So we start, the company starts ASAP methodology, that is how to work on the project and everything, if it is an implementation project. If it is a support project, we write SLA, that is service level agreement, or we also call it as OLA. Some companies call it as OLA, organization level agreement, or service level agreement. So what is service level agreement or a organization level agreement? That is, what is the tenure of implementation, that is support, whether it is a 3-year support or a 5-year support or a 10-year support, what is the support you'll be providing, and what is the level of issues, and what is the turnaround time to fix the issues. So these all things, this all information you would be having in a SLA document, service level agreement document. ASAP methodology is unique to SAP. It is SAP's methodology of implementing project. But SLA is not a specific to SAP projects, because whatever the service industry, you have the support industry, whether tech support, voice support, any process support, every company will have SLA. So SLA is a industry standard. It is not anything as a SAP standard. It is an industry standard. So before getting into what is this support, what is SLA and everything, first let us try to understand what is the issue, what is a ticket, who will face that issue, and who will raise the ticket, and these all things. So anyone, what is issue? What's an issue?
It's a
Issue
problem that
means?
has occurred in the application because of which some functionality is not working, or it could be a kind of query where user is not able to process any transactions.
Right. So the standard definition for issue is which is stopping the client customers as usual business process. Okay. Anything which stops customers as usual business process is called a issue. And who will face this issue? Which user will face this issue?
End user.
End user will face the issue. In which server end user will face the issue?
Production server.
Production server, right? So what's an issue? Issue means whichever is stopping the customers as usual business process, we call it as an issue, and end user will face the issue in the production server. So once issue is found by a end user, what he will do is he will log this issue to core user. He will log this issue to core user because core user is much senior and much knowledgeable. He was part of the project. He was done the testing, right? Because see, there might be 1,000 end users. So all 1,000 end users cannot directly get in touch with the consultant, right? Never you'll have a access directly to that end user because there will be some issue-based tickets. That means we don't take project for a complete what we call maintenance. That means we don't do complete project maintenance. We do issue maintenance. That means if end user is saying that I have an issue, and if you directly log to the consultant, let's say that issue is a typo error. Instead of O, the user is typing 0. Instead of O, user is typing 0. What happens? Consultant will tell this is a typo error, but still they charge. That is ticket based issues. That means ticket based they'll charge. Some companies, very small companies, will have these ticket based issues because they don't get more than 4 or 5 issues in a week, right? So once an end user gets an issue, first he'll log that issue to the core user because he is much knowledgeable. He will analyze the issue, whether this issue is really a need an address of consultant or whether it's a typo error, whatever it is. He will just analyze it. Once core user analyze the issue, and if he feels that this issue should be fixed only in the development server, there is some configurational problem, so it should be fixed only in the development server, then what he do? He logs this issue into he logs the issue to the consultant as a ticket. He logs the issue as a ticket. What is a ticket? Ticket has a follow-up. Complete timeline will be there. When is the issue logged? What is the further action taken? Whether the solution is right, whether the issue is closed, everything, the complete timeline will be there for a ticket. See, if you order something on Amazon, so you have some issue, what you do immediately, you get into customer support and you raise the issue. So there will be some discussions, right? So that, and you will have complete mail trail, right? That trailing mail is nothing but a ticket with a timeline, right? So issue is found first in the production server from the end user, and that should be logged as to the core user, and core user will analyze what kind of issue it is, and then if he really feels that this should be addressed by consultant, then he marks this to the ticket. So now let's see what is a ticket, what is a ticketing tool, and this all things, because for sure they ask this question: what is ticketing tool and what ticketing tool you are working, that is you are using, right? So let us see the support process. 99.9%, or you can put it as 100%, for sure you will face this question. And I see minimum at least 50% of consultants fail in answering this question. This is what you do every day in a project, but still consultants fail to answer this question. That is, can you please explain me the complete ticketing process? Or can you please explain the ticketing cycle? Let the question be anything, whether they ask you for what is the ticketing cycle or ticketing process or your day-to-day job of ticketing, can you please explain? But still consultants fail. They cannot constructively tell what they were doing, right? So let us see what is ticketing cycle, a complete overview. You can see customer and IBM in two different colors. As I told you, whenever the core user, when I say customer here, customer is nothing but core user. When a core user, like he identifies this issue should be addressed by consultant, what then he do? He come to a ticketing tool and he log that issue into the ticketing tool, right? So what is a ticketing tool? So ticketing tool is a platform where we can communicate and address the issues. It's a platform. It has every trace and everything. So it's a simple like replacement of email. See, we communicate through email, right? The same way we communicate through ticketing tool, but ticketing tool has lots of functionalities. It gives more functionalities professionally where we can handle an issue. So what kind of ticketing tools are available in the market? So what kind of ticketing tools are available in the market? It can be Citrix, Perigme, Jira, Remedy, OS, Heat. There are lots of ticketing tools. I just switched off the screen. Just a moment. I'll tell you how to read the ticketing tool, because for sure they ask this question. 100% they ask this question. What ticketing tool you are using? What is your ticketing tool? Yeah. So for sure they'll ask in the interviews what ticketing tool you're working on. And my best suggestion is you should put that in the resume itself, saying that I'm working on this ticketing tool. So if I show you the sample resume, this is how we put the sample resume. Because see, it eliminates one question. If you see the sample resume, as much as possible, we should try to give all the information so that it should eliminate the question. You can see ticketing tool, Remedy. What ticketing tool you're using? Remedy, BMC Remedy ticketing tool. Instead of the interviewer asking you what ticketing tool you use, you just give that information to him so that he will not ask that question. Because if he asks you a question, what happens is, if he asks you a question saying that what ticketing tool are you are using, you will tell Remedy. Then immediately he will ask you what version of Remedy you are using, how you log a ticket in Remedy. Why you should get this all unwanted questions? So in first hand, give him information on what ticketing tool you are using. That is nothing but BMC Remedy. But how you will know how to use the Remedy? See, why I'm saying Remedy? Because see, Remedy is the most accepted tool in the market. It has close to 50 to 60% share in the market. There are lots of other ticketing tools. If in your company you are using something, you stick to that. But whoever does not have any knowledge in the ticketing tool, you stick to the Remedy, because for Remedy you find lots of tutorials on the YouTube. Just go here and find out, like say, live example of ticketing tool. So how to create a ticket in the Remedy, how to escalate a ticket. So everything you have assign a ticket, right? So everything you have as a video tutorial, so you can make in notes, so that in the interview if they ask you how you log the incident or how you assign a ticket, whatever it is, what is the fields, definitely they'll ask you. Okay, definitely they'll ask you this question. So you at least you have a good information, right? So you better stick to the Remedy, which is widely accepted in the market, and they will also feel happy because they don't need to give training again on a new ticketing tool for you, right? So mention Remedy as a ticketing tool. So customer will log that issue into the ticketing tool. So here the example is Bugzilla. Bugzilla is also one kind of ticketing tool, but you stick to Remedy. So customer logs into the ticketing tool, and he will log the issue. So if it is on-site offshore model, then you will have support coordinators, or directly your lead will assign the issue to ticket to you. Who will assign the ticket to you? Either your lead, or if you have a program coordinator or a support coordinator, so they will assign that ticket, because you may be 10 consultants. So out of the 10, to whom they should assign, again that depends upon your role and responsibility, right? So you can see here a ticket has been logged into the ticketing tool, and a support coordinator is assigning the ticketing tool to the respective module consultant. Once a ticket is assigned to you, you see here something called as clock. What is this clock? See, issues are time sensitive. Some issues, okay, you can also fix it tomorrow, but some issues are very time sensitive. Let's say that it's an airlines company. The flight is scheduled to leave at 9 o'clock, but your boarding pass issuing system has stopped working at 5 o'clock. Flight has to leave by 9, no option, right? And the machine which issues the boarding passes is not responding. Is a high priority ticket or a medium or low priority ticket? Anyone? What kind of issue it is?
High priority, high.
Very high priority issue, right? So in my company system, SAP system is not allowing to create quotations. It's not allowing to create quotations. So is it a high priority or a medium priority? or a low priority,
Medium priority. Medium or low.
right? So it's not a high
High
priority, it's a
priority.
medium or low. Because see, if not today, we can create quotations tomorrow, right? I'm trying to create an order in the plant material is available. In the plant material is available. I'm trying to create an order, but system is not confirming the quantity into the order. If I see in the plant, okay, materials are available. But when I create an order, system says no materials are available in the plant. High priority or medium or low? Anyone? It's again a high
I guess
priority
it's
issue.
an high priority.
It's a high priority issue, right? So these are the kind of issues. Some issues by common sense itself, we can tell whether it's high priority or medium priority or low priority, but it's not possible for you to sort out every issue, right? So that's the reason what you do is, as a consultant, what you should know out of SLA document, that is service level agreement document, this is the information as a consultant you should know out of the SLA document. That means what processes are high priority, what are medium priority, what are low priority, because basing upon the priority itself, your charges will be there. The time what you would be spending depends upon the priority level, right? So in the interviews, if they ask you what information as a consultant you should know out of SLA, that means these are the issues, these are the things you should know, that is which is high priority, which is low priority, and these all things. So if I show you the timelines, yeah, you can see the SLA recommended matrix. This is on the regular days. And in the industry, we don't have any standard terminology for issues. So some companies call it as S1, S2, S3, S4. Some companies call it as P1, P2, P3, P4. Some companies call it as L1, L2, L3, L4. There is no standard. S1 means, S means severity, P means priority, L means level. So some companies call it as level 1, level 2, level 3. Some companies call it as priority 1, priority 2, priority. There is no standard in the industry, but you stick to something. Okay, today itself you stick to something, so that that's the same thing you will tell in the interview tomorrow, right? Definitely they'll ask you a question on this. So what levels of priority you have in the project, right? So if it is severity 1 ticket, the response time is 30 minutes and resolution time is 8 hours. Again, these times are not standard in the industry, because every company has its own severities, right? So these timings, for some company, the severity might be only 4 hours. High priority is only 4 hours. For some company, it can be 8 hours. Okay, let's say it's a shipping company. Let's take it's a port, right? So a ship has come for unloading, but there is some issue in the docking. It's a very high priority, because per hour you should pay for, right? The ships, they need to pay the parking fees per hour, right? So it's a very high priority, and the fees are very, very high. So it all depends upon which industry it is. Depending upon that, the timeline would be changed. So again, there is no standard in the industry which what time it should be, but you stick to something. Again, you can tell high priority 6 hours. They cannot question why 6 hours. Okay, so they can ask you what is the timeline for you to fix a high priority issue. If you say 6 hours, that is enough. 6 hours. So they cannot question why it is 6 hours, because there is no standard in the industry a timeline which you need to fix. But what is this response time? What is this 30 minutes response time? You see here. So as a consultant, once an issue is logged to you, so as a consultant, once a issue is logged to you, the clock starts, right? The clock starts. In the interviews also, they ask this question. Okay, once a ticket is assigned to you, what is the first activity you will be doing? So what's the first activity you should do as a consultant once a ticket is assigned to you? Acknowledge. You need to acknowledge the ticket, right? What is the response time we have seen in the SLA matrix?
30 minutes.
What is this response time? 30 minutes. This is the acknowledgement. Because see, you will not be all the time in front of the system, right? You might be having lunch, you might be in the meeting, or you might be on the way to office. Nowadays, we have an option to get an SMS also. Earlier, 5 years back or 7 years back, we don't have that option. But now, if you get a ticket, immediately an SMS will be sent to your mobile. right? So we'll not be all the time at the desk. So you'll have some comfort time of 30 minutes to 40 minutes to respond, saying that, okay, you received a issue. This is the first activity. So in the interview, they'll ask these questions, right? What is the first activity as a consultant you do once an issue is assigned to you? That is, you acknowledge it. Once you acknowledge it, the next question comes is, so what is the activity next you do after acknowledging? Or they will ask a issue saying, they'll ask a question saying that user has marked an issue with a wrong priority. See, if it is a CVRT 2 ticket, you are solving in 1 business day, 24 hours. If it is CVRT 1 ticket, you are solving in just 8 hours. So what the users will do is, to get the job done quick, CVRT 2 ticket, they will mark it as CVRT 1 ticket. Will you accept or not? Anyone? As a consultant, you should accept this or not? If a ticket is marked wrong, this is a question, same question in the interview. So user has marked the issue wrongly. So what you do?
You have to accept because customer is important.
Right? But we should not accept. Because as I told you, issue, it depends upon the price, everything depends upon the what time. So you should not accept. So once you acknowledge the ticket, then what you need to do, you need to assess whether this ticket is really a L1 ticket or a L2 ticket, L3 ticket. That means whether the issue has marked with the correct priority or not. First, you need to assess it, right? Then only you have to accept. Okay, so let's say that it is marked wrong priority. Then what you do? You should tell customer that this issue was marked as the wrong priority. Please change the priority. Then only I can accept. That's you need to. So here customer doesn't comes first. Okay, so no sentiment of the customer coming first here. So only the tickets which is marked with the correct priority is accepted. If it is not marked with the correct priority, you should tell customer this issue was marked with wrong priority. Please change the priority. Until then I cannot accept the ticket, right? So this is what you are doing here. After acknowledgement, then level 2 or level 3 or level 4, what it is you are assessing. Okay, let's assume that the issue was marked correct. Then you start working on the ticket, right? You start working on the ticket. So when you're working on the ticket, what happens is you need some more information. Okay, you may need more information to fix the issue. So at that time, what you do, you again ask for that information or clarification from your customer. So once you need information, then you log that into the Bugzilla. Your clock stops until your customer provides you the information. The clock stops. So once the customer provides the information to you, again the clock starts. And very important is the status messages. I'll tell you what is the statuses at each point. At each point, system generates a different statuses. So we should note that status message also. So okay, user has sent you the information, extra information, and you don't need any more information. So you proceed with the resolution, and you can see here, you proceed with the resolution, you advance it to the customer for testing, and if customer tested, he will close the issue, and every issue has to be closed. Let's say that you raised some complaint with Amazon, but it is solved, right? So there is no activity for 2 or 3 days. What happens? Immediately you will get an email after 2 or 3 days saying that as there is no activity on this issue, that the ticket was closed, because every issue has to be closed, right? So after advancing it to the customer, if customer says that no, there is still some more issue, not okay, then again it goes back, it comes to the resolution and advance to the custom code, and then again until it is finalized, fixed, right? So let me show you the, okay, if you see here, there is called as something continued as 4. What is this 4? And there is no standard in the industry saying that you should be always having 4 levels. Some companies have only 2 levels, depending upon again the industry, what the customer belongs to. This everything depends. So what is this continued 4 here? That is developments. You can see CVIT 1 ticket solved in 8 hours, CVIT 2 1 business day, CVIT 3 in 3 business days. So what exactly it is? What are the, why you are categorizing like this? That is, let me show you some tickets. I'll give you these tickets documents as I told you earlier in the first session. So what different kinds of tickets you will be having? Process, you will have development, you will have master data issues, you will have. You can see here configurational issue, process issue, master data issue, development issue, right? So this is how the issues will be categorized. And you can also see here, I'll just minimize this. You can also see configuration issues are, yeah, you can see configuration issue, medium, master data issue, low priority, some master data issues, critical, right? So this is how it is categorized. Okay, these are the different kinds of issues you'd be having: configuration issue, process issue, master data issue, development issues, and each issues are prioritized like this, right? Still, my system is not responding well today. Just a minute, there might be some background activity running, so it's not responding well. Okay, so what is development? What is that continued for? What is the level 4 issue? That is development. That means, what is development? Or we also call it as change request. We call it as enhancement. Whatever you call with the name, it's the same. So in the interviews, they may ask you, what is enhancement, or what is a change request? So change request is not very, very, very important question is, what is change request? That is industry standard terminology. So change request is nothing but whatever the customer is asking for the new development in the system, which was not there in the existing system. See, SAP was implemented and it has gone live. Then after, you have taken the project and you are supporting. But at the time of implementation, this process was not configured, or this configuration has not been done, or this development has not been done. But now customer is asking for that. So what are the new you are doing at the time of support project? That's called as change request. So whenever you get a change request, what you do? You again start with the functional specification document, functional mandates, technical mandates, budgetary, and everything you do, and send it to the customer for his approval. And once customer approved, then only you'll go with the development. Just a minute, let me open this again. So yeah, that is number 4. Severity 4 is 20 business days. You get 20 days time to develop it, right? So escalations, what are escalations? That means if issue is not fixed from the customer end, he can escalate it to the different levels of managers at different times. So all issues, severity 1, severity 2, level 1, level 2 managers, severity 3 issue, before resolution time 3 days, it can be escalated to level 1 manager. After fixing it, if your customer have any issue, he can escalate it to level 2, and so on managers. But who are these level 1, level 2, level 3 managers? They are, a level 1 manager can be a program lead, level 2 can be program manager, level 3 can be account manager, and level 4 can be delivery head, right? So the issue is not resolved within the stipulated time frame, it can be escalated to the next level as per the escalation matrix, right? So coming back to somehow system is not responding well today. Just a moment, let me close unwanted things. Okay, yeah. So you can see the continued level 4. So we have reached here. So what we are doing here, estimated efforts is given to the customer. If customer is approving, then we write a functional specification document and send to the approval. Customer approves, then technical specification document, customer approves, then coding by your developer until it is fixed. Okay, until it's fixed, then you start developing that, right? So this is complete a cycle, ticketing cycle we can call it as, or what's the other, ticketing process or ticketing cycle. This is what you need to explain. That means, so once the ticket is issued assigned to you, how you respond. That is, first you give acknowledge, then you assess what level of ticket it is. If it is the level, then only you accept it, right? Then after, what you do. But the most important is the status messages, what they ask. So let us see now that into the brief. So whatever we discussed now, we have that in write up here. So change request. What is a change request? If customer is requesting for any new change in the system which was not there earlier, that we call it as change request. So once you get that, you need to give the complete what is that issue, what is the expected time for fixing it, what is the estimated man days, everything, right? So how do the project starts? What is the team size? So again, same process. They call for a kickoff meeting. In the kickoff meeting, they introduce the client, roles and responsibility, the agreement period, whether it's 3 years or 5 years, 10 years, and what is the starting date, everything. So the team size you can fix to the same team size what discussed at the time of implementation. You can fix for the same team size. Okay. So KT process, how you get the KT? We already discussed it, right? The config documents which we prepare at the realization phase. The same documents are the basics for you for the KT process, right? And ticketing cycle process we just discussed, but status messages are important. Let me open once again the document. Okay, somehow it's not responding, but I'll tell you what is the status, because in the interviews also they ask this question. What are the different status at in the ticketing process? The first, whenever the ticket has been assigned to you, the ticket status will be open. Once you acknowledge, then the status of the ticket will be changed from open to being processed, right? So you'll have an option drop down to change that messages at appropriate time. You need to change that message. Okay, you need extra information. Then what you do? You change that status message from being processed to waiting for information. That means if you need an extra information from the customer levels, okay, we'll come back to this status. So first, the ticket status would be open. Once you give acknowledge, it changed to open to being process. Then if you need any information, then you'll change it to waiting for information. Once you receive the information, again you'll change it to the being process. And once you done with the issue and you send it to the customer for testing, then you wait for the confirmation. And if customer accepts it, then customer will close the issue. The status, the ticket will be changed to closed, right? So at different phases, different status messages would be there, right? And yeah, what documents we prepare in the support project? Anyone from TCS in this batch? Anyone working in TCS? Okay, no one. So we prepare different documents that's called as issue resolution documents, or RCA documents, root cause analysis documents. So issue resolution document, it is common, like it looks like this, but this is at a high level, not this. I was showing you the tickets, right? That particular, but that is at a high level, lead level. But consultant level, you create an issue resolution document for each issue. And we also create RCA document, root cause analysis document, that is for the high priority tickets. For L1 tickets, usually we prepare that RCA documents, and it is a default in the TCS actually. That's the reason I'm asking for TCS, right? And the next is weekly meeting. What is your role in the weekly meeting as a consultant? This is also a very important question. What is your role in the weekly meeting? So in the weekly meeting, what you do, you go with your laptop, all the team will be there, and you'll be sitting with the project manager, and you'll be discussing what was the last week's issue, what you fulfilled, and how is the support from other members. Because when fixing an issue, you need sometime an ABAP help or sometime an FI help in the integration, and how was client's reaction out of this. So these all things generally we discuss. We are supposed to discuss, but that doesn't happen anytime because everyone is busy. Your project manager himself who organized the meeting himself is busy responding to emails, right? So it's just a blame game there in the weekly meeting, but you're supposed to do this. That means you need to discuss what any pending issues or any issue with the customer. These all things generally we discuss, right? So this is what your role in a support project as a functional consultant. Your role in the support project is, this is what you do, right? So in some more questions they may ask in the interview, like in which server you have seen the issue. Okay, customer was saying that there was an issue, but in which server you will be like checking the issue? Anyone?
Quality system.
Quality server.
No. How can you check in the quality? The issue was in production system, right? But will you have the access to? Yeah. When you say production,
depending on the project, if you have access, you can check it. If you don't have access, depending on the sensitivity of the issue. So,
yeah.
I
So
think it depends on Europe.
it's a production, yes. See, the issue was in production, right? But the next question immediately comes is, okay, do you have access for the production system? Usually they don't give access to the production system. Even though they give an access to the production system, it will be only display access. You'll have only a display access, right? So what all other options you can tell, that is like you can tell that my landscape has a pre-production system. What is a pre-production system? It is a mirror copy of your production system, right? So if there is an issue in the production, the same issue should be also in the pre-production, right? So that one thing you can tell. Or the other thing you can tell, that I connected remotely to my core user system. Remotely I connected to my core user system, and in his system I analyzed the issue, right? So these are some questions which you would be facing. Yeah, that's it. Coming to the support project, any questions? And you'll be getting all these tickets. Just go through them and you choose what ticket you want to. So for each you choose one ticket. So don't worry about tickets as of now, because there is a long time to go. We need to discuss lots of concepts. At that time you'll get an idea what is an issue and which to pick. As of now, put these documents with you. That's it. Don't go through that Excel sheet ticket documents. No use for you now. So once we finish the training, at that time you will be understanding what is exactly an issue and which to choose. That means because we have config issue, production issue, process issue, different issues, right? Yeah. So any questions for today?
Hi Praveen, Anagha here. Yeah, I just have a question. Like you said that you have to update the status, right? The issue, the ticket is been like you have to acknowledge it and then next thing. So where do you update the status?
In the ticketing tool.
Okay. So do you have to maintain any Excel sheet for that, or it's all in the ticketing tool?
No, it's already there in the ticketing tool. Simple. I'll tell you in a real-time thing. Let's say you opened a issue with Amazon. Okay. So if you don't respond for 2 or 3 days, what again, if you go for that particular issue, what you'll see message there, waiting for customer response, right? So, or else let me just show you, if possible, I have one. Okay, my server is not responding. Sorry, my system is not responding. Somehow it's not loading. But yeah, it's there in the ticketing tool itself. So ticketing tool is your communication tool, right? So whatever the information you need or the status, everything you'll put it in the ticketing tool. Okay, it will have a drop down. You just click that and it will have all the messages. You select which message you want. That's it. It will get updated.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Any other questions, anyone?
Okay, Praveen, this question is from the interview questions of the concept implementation. Uh, After transporting the request from one server to another server, how to take it back?
Okay. Once you transport, can you mute? Can you mute? Once you transport a request from one server to another server, you can never take it back. Okay. So if you find something to be updated, again, you need to do the configuration in the Dev system and save it in a new transport request number and transport it and overwrite the old configuration. Okay. You cannot take back once a request is transported. Okay.
And after releasing the request, can I use the request to save further configuration?
No. You need to generate a new request.
And what is this developer user ID and normal user ID?
Developer, see, there are different users, I told you, right? So developer, can you mute someone, Shafi? Shafi, can you mute? Yeah, developer user ID will be used by your ABAPer. See, even though your ABAPer is a technical person, he will directly not have an access to change something. Okay, he cannot directly go and do a program. He cannot append the standard SAP program. For that, what he need to do, he need to write an email to the basis consultant. Then your basis consultant will write an email to your SAP, and there is an access key. There will be a 12-digit access code. So they need to get that access code from the SAP, because see, SAP is liability, right, to provide the warranty for the product. So you need to register what object you are trying to append. So for that, SAP will give an access key. That app basis will again provide that access key to your ABAPer, and then your ABAPer will go and input that access key, and then he will start the programming, right? So that is the developer ID. So developer ID is only for the developments, and that is for the ABAPers.
Okay, and in cutover activity, what is recording, Praveen?
That we do in the SHDB. Just go through that SHDB document what I'll be providing, so you will get an idea. Or else you just, if you have an SAP access, type SHDB T code, you'll see it. I'll share the document anyway with you, BDC document. So recording comes in the BDC. Okay.
Okay, and question is like, if you get error while uploading data, what happens?
This question is only for LSMW, not for BDC. In BDC, generally you don't get errors, only for LSMW. And that too, see, LSMW is 14 steps. You can see this. LSMW is 14 steps. Mostly at the 7th and 8th step, by default, you'll get a error. While you are assigning a file, then you get generally the errors. Okay. So what you do, again, you fix that error and you re-upload it. This is a standard. That's the reason they ask this question, whether to check your real time or not. Because if you're real time and you're trying LSMW, at the 7th and 8th step, you usually will get some errors. So whether you are aware of that or not, to check that, they ask this question. So what you do, you reprocess it again.
Will you be providing some classes or steps-wise documentation regarding this LSMW and BDC and all that?
Yes, you will get everything, but not now, because as I told you, if I send it now, you cannot organize them. So at appropriate time, whenever we are supposed to discuss that or when I need to share that, I'll share it. But you'll get everything. LSMW, BDC and everything. Right?
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Praveen.
Yeah. Any other questions? Anyone?
This is my first date on this session. So do we have a system access too or not?
No, it's a home.
Yes, it's home. Yes.
It's home, right? No home. I don't
Yes.
provide server access, but if you want, I can give the contact person of server provider. You can get in touch with him and you can take it.
Okay, so
that will cost you somewhere around close to $15 for 3 months.
$15 for 3 months?
Yeah.
Okay. And second thing, I missed like 5 lectures or 6 lectures already. So I'm joining late. So how are we going to cover this? I mean, you already have a recording.
Yeah, the recorded videos were there. I'll send you the access. Go through them, and any question you can come back.
Okay, come back within a class, or I can email you some.
Within the class,
some
within the
issues.
class, or you can WhatsApp me, or you can email me. Anything is fine.
Okay. Okay. All right.
Okay.
Praveen, this is
So,
Vishnu.
yeah.
Okay.
Go ahead.
This is regarding Activate implementation methodology. You said you would be introducing the Activate as well, right? So will you be covering it in the next sessions, or how is it?
Activate, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So we'll not get into the complete detail. I hope we discussed in the last session. You are not there in the last session?
I was not there in the session 4.
Yeah. For session 4, I hope we already discussed about that Activate methodology. I've given a brief. What is Activate method? What are the steps? Right? I remember that. Anyone, can you confirm? Did we discuss a detail
Yes,
of
sir.
what are the steps? We already discussed, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
we already discussed. Yeah, we already discussed.
Go through the video. You will see that.
Okay, Praveen. Thank you.
Okay. Right. So we'll call it a day today and catch up tomorrow. And tomorrow we'll continue with the first concept of SAP SD, that is enterprise structure. Even tomorrow we'll not touch the server. First, we'll try to understand what are the organization elements and what is the purpose of each organization element. Okay, tomorrow is Friday. Oh, we missed a session yesterday, right? Okay. We are supposed to touch the enterprise structure today and tomorrow configuration. Okay, no problem. I'll give an introduction of server also tomorrow itself, so that by this weekend you can get a little hands-on of the server. We'll manage that, right? So see you all and catch up tomorrow, everyone. Good night. Bye-bye.